You can get almost everything here: tea, coffee, sausages, candy. Only cigarettes are not sold. They can only be brought in or sent by families. In addition to food, there are also plenty of everyday items. Especially important, toilet paper. Because it isn't provided by the prison. That means if you don't have money, you won't have toilet paper.
They usually buy soap, shaving cream, and, of course, toothpaste. And notebooks are very popular.
Larissa and her colleague Tetiana are the only female employees in the prison. They have been working in the prison shop every afternoon for over 30 years. By now, they have gotten used to dealing with the exclusively male prisoners, but that had not always been the case.
I was a little scared at first. For several months, I had bad dreams. Back then, they all had shaved heads. They all looked the same. I was still young.
To make a purchase from the kiosk, prisoners need to first order from and pay Tetiana. There is no cash. This is intended to prevent illegal dealings and hierarchies forming among prisoners. Those who work get their wages credited directly to a prison account. Families can also pay money into it. And Tetiana conscientiously keeps records of every penny the inmates spend at her store.
The prisoners give their last name. I then ask to which section they belong, whether to 2 or 4 or to 5. Then I check which section the person is in, take his file, check how much money he has. Here, for example, 114.18. I write the date, the amount, and then the inmate signs.
For inmates, shopping is one of the rare opportunities to exchange at least a few brief words with someone from outside the walls. It's very different next door, in the maximum security prison. The maxim here is as little contact as possible for the prisoners. Hardly a word is spoken, even when serving food. The corridors are deserted most of the time. The inmates sit well secured behind thick steel doors in their cells, monitored by a multitude of cameras. Communication of any kind between the inmates is strictly forbidden. But if you have a lot of time on your hands, you get creative. Prisoners exchange news and trade cigarettes and food by string mail. Apart from knocking signals, this is the only way to communicate with others. The guards are, of course, aware of it, but they do not always catch the perpetrators in the act. But this is not the only challenge for senior guard Alexander.
Every day is a game of chess. They try to beat us, we try to beat them. A game that ultimately has consequences. If they don't understand that they're behaving badly, then they will be punished.
One of the measures taken by the guards: regular searches. At least once a month, Alexander and his team search each of the 100 cells. The procedure is always the same. One prisoner leaves the cramped cell with his belongings, the other stays inside.
Turn around.
First, a body search. The guard and prisoner are now together in a very confined space. The risk of being attacked is now at its greatest.
We're looking for forbidden items, sharp objects, alcohol, drugs, cell phones.
The guards do not have any modern search equipment. The prison does not have the money. Instead, they have to rely on their eyes and experience.
The prisoners have been here for many years. They're constantly thinking about ways to hide things. They hide the stuff in the toilet, under the bed, in the buckets. They're also hiding places in books. There's nothing in here this time, but often they cut out pages and then hide forbidden things in the empty space.
Besides drugs, alcohol, and money, the guards are mainly looking for one thing: homemade weapons that prisoners can use to attack guards. With a little skill, you can make a weapon out of almost anything, from cutlery to a tin of shaving cream. In the worst case, it could cost a guard his life. 40 minutes later, the search is over.
We didn't find anything forbidden this time.
After both inmates and all their belongings have been returned to the cell, the doors are relocked. The inmates will now remain locked in their cell until the next day's courtyard visit. Fair treatment, according to the guards.
I can't feel sorry for them, or I'd be doing the wrong job. When you work here, you can't perceive them as normal people. Yes, they are human beings who also need to be treated as human beings, but they have committed serious crimes and should never be trusted.
It's getting dark. The beginning of the worst part of the day for the prisoners. No more distractions provided by work or meal times. Instead, nothing but a gaping sense of boredom and plenty of time to reflect. Ex-gang boss Pavlik spends most of his day watching TV. He is serving his sentence alone in a solitary cell.
I think a lot. I just sit around. Almost the whole day I'm alone. It automatically makes you think. Unfortunately, there's no technology available to determine whether someone has reformed themselves and could be allowed out. Everybody's just hoping. Me too. I've been here for a long time.
His only company, his cat. Prison management tolerates cats in the cells as long as the prisoners take good care of them.
I call him my son. We play and cuddle. You get used to each other. I've already been asked if I'm going to take him when I leave here. How can I leave him here? I'll take him with me.
But the reality is different. Neither of them will probably ever leave this cell again.
Bedtime.
On the stroke of 10 o'clock, the guard turns off the lights. The light switches are on the outside. For the next 8 hours, the prisoners must lie in their beds. They are not permitted to watch television or to have any conversations with their cellmates. Next door in Colony 4, there is also silence. Here too, from 10 o'clock onwards, anyone not on night shift in the workshop must be in their beds. The guards check that everyone is present. Then, the lights are switched off here as well.